Hi everyone, my name is Ben Henriquez and I teach basic Tibetan Buddhism in the UK. So this video is about coronavirus, obstacles, opportunities and practice. If you're a Buddhist, I hope this video will be supportive and will help you and give you some tools maybe to deal with the pandemic. And if you're not a Buddhist, I still hope this video will be helpful. I hope it will give you some ideas about coping mechanisms and how to respond positively to the very, very difficult situation we find ourselves in. So, first of all, let's talk about the obstacles that coronavirus has created for us. And for most of us, most of the time, the main obstacle is fear. There are people that are sick. There are people who have loved ones who have passed away and so on. But at the moment, most of us are dealing mainly with fear as an obstacle. And coronavirus is terrifying. Let's not dress it up. It is very uncertain. It is a big shock. It affects all areas of our lives. It makes us feel helpless because we can't leave our homes. And it really thrusts death right into our face, which normally we don't like. So I don't want to sound negative, but we have to acknowledge the scale of our fear. And if we want to overcome our fear, then we have to know what the causes of it are. So what does Buddhism say about obstacles? Well, basically Buddhism says that every single obstacle is an opportunity. It doesn't matter if the obstacle is this big or absolutely massive. It is an opportunity. An opportunity for what? Well, an opportunity for spiritual growth, which means in the Buddhist context, growth in compassion and growth in wisdom. So let's try and apply that to the corona outbreak. How can the corona outbreak increase our compassion? Well, it's quite obvious in a way because you only have to look at the news. You know, the UK government asked for 250,000 volunteers and 500,000 volunteers, 500,000, put their hands up and said they would help. That's compassion in action. And the reason those people did that mostly is because if we're suffering personally, if we're feeling mental pain, especially intense mental pain, we find it much easier to empathise and feel compassion for other people. Especially if what we're feeling is similar to what they're feeling. So a crisis like corona and the fear of corona can really inspire compassion because suddenly everyone else is feeling what we're feeling and we don't like it, so we know they don't like it and we naturally feel compassion. And that's a marvellous opportunity. What about awareness? Okay, so this is a bit more complicated, but I think one of the main ways in which the coronavirus can help create awareness is by shocking us. We notice our minds more because we're shocked. We're feeling these intense emotions, fear and anger and worry and so on. And when we're feeling these intense emotions, we're noticing our mind, and that potentially can create an opportunity for greater awareness because we're noticing our minds more. Another way in which the coronavirus can help create awareness, or the fear of coronavirus can help create awareness, is through shock. The coronavirus has shocked us in all kinds of ways, sort of psychologically, but also in terms of our daily routines, most of which have gone out the window, right? And when there's shock in our minds, there's more space because our normal mind buzzing activity is gone, or at least much reduced. And that shock, when we see something on the news that's really upsetting, or when we hear about more people dying, that shock can dampen down our minds a bit and we can notice that and we can use that to create space and awareness of our minds. There are other opportunities in the pandemic as well. One is that it is a fantastic reminder to do more meditation. So if you have a meditation practice, you will be aware that meditation can really help with fear and pain and mental difficulty. And if you're anything like me, you know you should be meditating a lot more. So the intense suffering, the intense difficulties of coronavirus encourage us to meditate more, because we know that that will help reduce those difficulties. And finally, in terms of opportunities, the coronavirus can help us build confidence. Okay? It can help us build confidence, because if we can overcome our fear even a little bit, if we can prove to ourselves that our meditation practice works, or just any other spiritual practice works, our reflection or our prayer or anything like that, if we can do that in the coronavirus and it reduces our fear just a little bit, then we've already won half the battle. Because if we can reduce our fear just a little bit, we can do it again. Even if the effect doesn't last, even if our fear comes back in 5 minutes, we know that we can beat that fear. And all we have to do is cultivate the ability to beat that fear. We have to reproduce that effect again. But once you've done it once, it's much easier to do it again. So that's another opportunity. It can help us build confidence in our practice or in our psychological techniques to calm ourselves, or whatever it is. If we can do it once, or even a little bit, we can do it again. And that means that the next time an obstacle comes around, we'll have a bit more confidence in our ability to cope. So those are the opportunities. But how do we move from one to the other? How do we go from a mindset which sort of looks at corona as this terrible thing that's a huge obstacle, to a mindset which looks at corona as a set of opportunities for us? And the answer is basically that we've got to change our attitude, which is easy to say, right? It's easy to say we need to treat everything as an opportunity. It's quite another thing to actually do it. But I think one of the things that can help us make that shift is just reflecting. You know, we just have to think about compassion in the context of coronavirus. We just have to notice our minds more, using the aid of coronavirus, which is a big, big push to do meditation and so on. So we can reflect, and that will help change our attitude into looking at coronavirus as an opportunity. We can also meditate. So some of you may have a meditation practice. If you do, that's great. Please do more of it. I know from my own personal experience that it works, and I'm sure many of you are finding that too. But even if we don't have a meditation practice, it might be a good time to think about developing one. There's loads of resources on the internet, loads and loads of material out there you can use to start your meditation practice. So don't think that you need to go to a Buddhist center or an ashram or a spiritual center to start your meditation practice. You can do it right now by going on the net and looking up some simple techniques. Okay? I hope this video has been useful. I hope to do more videos in the future. If you're interested in that, please hit the subscribe button. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. In the meantime, I hope you're all safe and well, and I wish you the very best in dealing with the current difficulties. Thank you.